Right now at noon, the community of Columbus steps in to help when an area farmer passes away.
And it is warm and it is windy, as you can see with our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. It's going to stay breezy for a while, and then we've got thunderstorm chances. Look at that forecast. It's coming up.
Plus, trick-or-treat events take place all across the 4 states. We'll take you to some of them.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, shots fired in Joplin's Bar District over the weekend leaves one man in the hospital. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Snowy. Now, it happened early Saturday morning on the 500 block of South Joplin. An injured 22-year-old male was rushed to the hospital where he is now in stable condition. The incident is currently under investigation. 3 individuals were detained and transported to the Joplin Police Department for questioning. And at this time, we have not been told about any charges being filed. Investigators believe there is no further threat to the public. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, it is a breezy and warm day across the region. We've got the partly to mostly cloudy skies, looking good from MoDOT camera 20th and range line. Of course, our camera downtown Pittsburgh's been shaking back and forth out here, almost like an earthquake, with some of these very gusty winds. As such, we do have red flag warnings through 8 o'clock this evening. We also have wind advisories for all of southeast Kansas and portions of northeastern Oklahoma through 8 o'clock this evening as well. Quick look back, started yesterday at 46, made it up to 79, so not quite where we should be, but not quite to record levels, but that could change today. We're sitting at 82 in Joplin right now, 80 in Pittsburgh, so already warmer now than where we were yesterday for many of us. Upper 70s and low to mid 80s building out there. Some record highs are going to absolutely be possible for us today, and maybe even as we head into our Tuesday. For the rest of this evening, again, a mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures, it is a slow cool down back into the mid 70s by 11. And unlike previous wind events that we've had, those winds usually let up in the late evening. Not going to happen. They'll ease up a bit, but still gusting 30 to 40 miles an hour overnight tonight and remaining out of the south. Now, these gusty winds are going to continue tonight, tomorrow night into Wednesday. Then we have a cold front coming in, and we do have some thunderstorms, and we do have the threat for severe weather on Wednesday as well. We're going to look at all those details here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right. Thanks, Chris. We'll see you soon. Well, a Columbus farmer passed away in a car accident in Cherokee County last week, and now his fellow farmers are harvesting the crops he's left behind. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more.
Just how everybody came together so quick.
Matthew Atkinson tragically passed away in a car accident before he was able to harvest the soybeans in his farm. In an act of neighborly solidarity, farmers stepped up to harvest the soybean crops Atkinson left behind.
It was just outstanding come together of people.
We compete for land and different things, but when it comes right down to it, friendship and helping one another is really worth a lot more than that.
I know Matthew would have been proud and amazed that this many people jumped in to help us out.
Atkinson's father says he will always remember how much his son loved others.
He had a big heart, and he wore it on his sleeve, and if anybody needed help, he would even shut down the tractor and get off and go help them.
Atkinson's farm stretched about 20 miles, and neighbors put aside their own crops to be there to help their fellow farmer. Reporting in Columbus, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Well, 6 people were in the car at the time of the accident and were injured as a result. Well, Elks Lodge number 861 in Webb City held a tailgate fundraiser for some of their members who have experienced an unexpected loss. Now, the fundraiser also featured a cook-off with the prize of bragging rights, and attendees were able to buy a bracelet, sample food from the 12 entries, and vote on the best one.
Being an Elks member is more about, it's more than just getting together and having fun. It's really coming together in a time of need and supporting each other and helping each other through difficult times.
There's also a gun raffle at the event. Well, Mercy Hospital in Joplin held their annual Track or Treat event Saturday afternoon. Now, different departments at the hospital set up walkthrough booths and handed out candy to children and their families. Now, this year had quite the turnout with thousands of people in line in full costume.
We actually started a little early because the lines were backing up. We had people in line at 1 o'clock, and we kicked off at. We were supposed to kick off at 2. We kicked off about 15 minutes early.
Now, the holiday festivities don't end here with the spooky season. Officials say Mercy plans to hold events for the upcoming Christmas season as well. Well, the Crawford County Mental Health Center hosted its annual Trunk or Treatment Saturday at Meadowbrook Mall in Pittsburgh. The organization says the event is a way to raise awareness for health facilities around the Pittsburgh area. 27 area organizations took part in the event, ready to pass out candy to the kiddos.
You get to get like lots of candy, and it's fun because you get to dress up.
I think my favorite part about today is obviously seeing the kids having such a good time. Rain or shine, they get to come into Meadowbrook Mall and they get to do a trunk or treat. But really, the focus of this event is to put them in touch with health and wellness resources because we want a healthy community in Pittsburgh.
Around 1,000 people were in attendance. Well, the Ascension Living Via Christi Village in Pittsburgh held a trick-or-treat yesterday in their courtyard area. About 15 people were out handing candy to trick-or-treaters, and the event is a way for those in the assisted living facility to engage with others in their community. Well, Joplin Jeep Junkies partnered with CC's Pizza to hold their annual Trick or Jeep. Around 12 Jeeps decorated for Halloween participated, giving out candy to local kids. In return, the kids would vote on whose Jeep was best decorated. Now, the Jeep with the most votes won the People's Choice Award.
Joplin Jeep Junkies is a club that comes together to support our veterans in the community, and so we're just here to once again just be a part of the community and just come together as a Jeep club. We enjoy coming together as a Jeep family, and this is just one way that we do it together.
This was the third Trick or Treat Jeep event. Well, coming up, the presidential candidates are entering their final campaign stretch with just over a week left until Election Day. And later, we're making Halloween candy bark in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. With just over a week to go until Election Day, a new CBS News poll shows the two presidential candidates tied in the battleground states. Now, yesterday, a joke made by a comedian at the Trump rally is sparking backlash and could have an impact among Latino voters. Natalie Brand reports from Washington, D.C.
In Philadelphia Monday, Democrats and Latino leaders slammed former President Donald Trump for comments made by a speaker at his Madison Square Garden rally Sunday.
The truth is that those insults are in line with the trajectory of insults to Puerto Ricans by Donald Trump himself.
The backlash is over this controversial joke from comedian Tony Hinchcliffe.
I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
The Trump campaign said the remarks do not reflect the former president's views, but the damage may have been done. Less than 2 hours later, Puerto Rican musical superstar Bad Bunny reshared a video from Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign to his nearly 46 million followers.
I will never forget what Donald Trump did and what he did not do when Puerto Rico needed a caring and a competent leader.
The controversy is threatening to overshadow Trump's closing arguments, capping off the star-studded event at one of the world's most famous arenas.
We will have the strongest economy, the most secure borders, the safest cities, the most powerful military.
Vice President Harris spent Sunday in Philadelphia courting Black and Latino voters. With an estimated 580,000 Latino voters in the most coveted battleground state, they could be the deciding factor in a race that polls show is neck and neck. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Well, tomorrow, Trump will campaign in Allentown, Pennsylvania, a city with a large population of Puerto Rican residents. Also tomorrow, Harris will lay out her closing arguments at the Ellipse in Washington, the same place Trump made his January 6th speech before the insurrection. Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
We've got an easy 3-ingredient favorite that is monstrously good, and it's just in time for Halloween.
And it's warm, it's windy, and we are tracking thunderstorm chances as we head toward the middle of the week. A look at your forecast when the News at Noon returns. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So if you haven't been outside just yet today, and I mean, it is Monday, maybe you got a good excuse to stay indoors. It is warm and it is very windy out there. This is a live look from our camera in downtown Pittsburgh. I mean, take a look at it rocking back and forth with these wind gusts out there. We do have wind advisories again across all of southeast Kansas, parts of northeast Oklahoma through 8 o'clock tonight. And then again, we have those red flag warnings for parts of southeast Kansas and Oklahoma as well through 8 this evening. I would not be surprised to see these reissued over the coming days, and I'll tell you why with the wind gust trackers. So here we are at 5 o'clock this evening. The wind advisories out to the west here are because this is where, at least through today, the strongest wind gusts are expected to be. But Joplin Airport just recently reporting gusts higher than originally anticipated. As we go overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning, winds are actually expected to pick up towards sunrise, and that means we're looking at more 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts over a broader portion of our area as we head through our Tuesday. You can take a look by Wednesday morning at sunrise. Take a look at these gusts over the entire region. This isn't an isolated situation like we've seen where we get a frontal boundary or some other situation where the gustier winds are located in one small corner. This is across the area. And Wednesday at noon, it continues out there ahead of a cold front that is going to bring us some big changes. So we are still dealing with the partly to mostly cloudy skies today, and that will continue through the evening and into the overnight hours. Towards sunrise tomorrow, we might clear out just a bit and be mostly clear to partly cloudy. And as you can see, an already mild start to the day for us. Clouds pick back up again Tuesday. Future track still picking up on an isolated sprinkle or two, but those chances again still less than 10% in all honesty for Tuesday for rain. Still going to be warm, still going to be windy. It's Wednesday I want to talk to you about. Now, the majority of our Wednesday, we are dry. There could be an isolated shower or two throughout the day, but then we have a cold front. By 5 o'clock, it's just barely knocking on our back door. But as we head into about 7, look at this line of storms and look at these wind arrows just pouring into this frontal boundary. So we're talking non-thunderstorm wind gusts of 50 miles an hour or so ahead of this boundary. By 7, it's 38 center. By 9, it's pushing off to the east. So we're Fort Scott, Pittsburgh, just outside of Miami, into Veneta, Parsons, Coffeyville, Chanute. That's by 9. By 11 o'clock, it's now mostly crossed into Missouri. Look at these thunderstorms. The reason we want to look at these colors, look at how intense this line looks, and take a look at the wind still ahead of this boundary. So non-thunderstorm wind gusts are going to be an issue, and we're going to have to contend with the thunderstorms themselves, which will be out of here by the time we get into Friday morning. Now, some good news, the temperatures are going to fall to more normal type temperatures out there, more fall-like weather. Rain, we're still looking at 1, maybe 3 inches of rain for many of us. Now, of course, this will update as we get closer, but still, it's better than nothing out there. But then we have to contend with this business. We have an elevated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms across the entire area. Now, this first popped up yesterday. It's still in place. At this point, all severe hazards appear possible. That does include a risk for maybe an isolated tornado or two, but the greater concern at this point is going to be with very large hail. That's the phrasing from our friends at the Storm Prediction Center. Very large hail, and then damaging straight line wind gusts. So outside of the wind gusts we'll get ahead of this front, we'll be dealing with more significant gusts in the storms themselves. Already 82 in Joplin. Those winds, that's what I'm talking about, gusting up to 46 in Joplin. Over in Pittsburgh, it is sitting at 82. Winds there gusting to 33 at the last report, and I guarantee you they are gusting higher than that. Temperatures around the region, we are on track for another above normal, if not potentially record-breaking day. So we're already upper 70s and low to mid 80s across the area, where yesterday we tapped out in the mid and upper 70s. We're going to go well above that today with those highs into the mid to upper 80s. I don't have to tell you about the winds. We've been talking about them. It's going to stay that way through today into tonight. Upper 60s, low 70s overnight tonight. And then tomorrow, another partly to mostly cloudy day, right around the mid 80s, and those strong winds continuing. Over the next 10 days, though, there's those thunderstorms Wednesday, upper 70s, low 80s ahead of the front, 40s behind it. So again, by Halloween, it is going to feel very cold compared to where we are now, but it is going to be seasonable. That's where we should be. We'll warm up just a hair next week. In the first week of November, not bad temperature-wise, and my favorite part is the fact that nearly every day through the weekend and into next week, we've got scattered shower and thunderstorm chances, bringing us some much-needed rain to the area.
Absolutely, that'll be fantastic. Thanks, Chris. Well, stick around. We're making Halloween candy bark in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Today, Howard's making Halloween candy bark in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Halloween is right around the corner, and if you're looking for something that you can bring to the office or take to a Halloween party that's not the same predictable thing that everyone else is bringing, I've got an idea. It's a 3-ingredient candy bar bark that is as much fun to make as it is to share. All we need to do is combine a good amount of semi-sweet chocolate chips along with a bit of vegetable shortening and pop it in the microwave for a minute or two until it's melty. We spread this on a rimmed baking sheet that we've lined with wax paper. It should be about a 1/4 inch thick. Now, while this is still warm, we sprinkle on our favorite Halloween candy that we've cut up, and that can be anything from the gooeyest candy bars to candy corn. We'll pop it in the fridge for about a half an hour or so before breaking it up into pieces. That is, if we can get into the fridge. And whether you pile them on a plate, arrange them in a gift tin, or put them out on a board so everyone can cut a piece for themselves, I can assure you it won't take long for this to disappear. To get this fun recipe, all you have to do is go to our website and look up Halloween Candy Bark. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a monstrously fun way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
We can find this recipe on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
Warm and windy all the way through Wednesday. Gusts over the next few days anywhere from 40 to 50 miles an hour. Cold front, though, Wednesday evening brings us thunderstorms, some of which could be strong to severe, something we're going to watch very closely. It also brings us fall-like weather for Halloween, and then we'll have additional scattered shower and storm chances next week. So we're getting some much-needed rain. Unfortunately, on Wednesday, it does look as though it's going to come with a severe risk, so something to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. All right, thanks, Chris. And Dowdy here for us later on tonight.
Well, lots coming up at 5. For starters, we're going to take a look at how a popular weight loss drug could also help treat chronic kidney disease. Plus, an error on the Neosho County, Kansas ballot has been amended. What county voters need to know. And elementary students in Joplin take part in the school district's Little Eagle Flight School. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
Lots to look forward to. Thank you, Dow. Well, that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. We'll, of course, see you right back here at 5. Until then, have a great rest of your day.